Welcome to WorkSpan TV. I'm Marcia Rhodes at WorldatWork, and today we're discussing compensation strategy with Frank Wagner and Monica Davis from Google. Frank, what did you learn from the studies you conducted on Google employee pay mix preferences?
Well, we found that regardless of the kind of employee, the level, or the function in which they were in, that generally employees perceived or preferred base salary versus variable pay, and they far preferred cash compensation relative to equity compensation. And they actually had a fairly small discount on bonus, perhaps slightly more than we would have anticipated, but also a fairly significant discount on stock units, and then even greater discount on stock options.
Was this finding a big surprise? I mean, you had a hypothesis going in.
Yes, our hypothesis was that employees would prefer more fixed compensation, and we heard it anecdotally through a number of different sources and focus groups. In addition, our employee survey indicated a greater level of satisfaction with the other components relative to salary. So that was our hypothesis, but it was good to have the really solid statistical analysis to support that perception about employee preferences.
Monica, what did you change as a result of the studies, and did it impact your overall compensation strategy?
Yeah, so we increased salaries across the board 10%, and our bonus program is a percent of our base salary, and so by increasing base salary, we therefore increased our target bonus as well, and we kept equity the same, and so we had an overall net increase to our compensation.
I think it was much talked about when you applied the across-the-board 10% pay increases. I remember this, I think, in November.
Yes, that's correct.
And I understand that this included underperformers.
Yes, it was an across-the-board increase. It included our underperformers and our top performers. Everyone received a flat 10% increase, and then in addition, we had a very aggressive merit increase as well, and so our top performers could actually receive far more than 10%. And because we wanted to keep the message very simple to all Googlers, so our CEO at the time, Eric Schmidt, and our SVP of HR, Laszlo Bach, could get up in front of all of the Googlers and say, everyone here today will receive a 10% increase. That was very important to make sure that we were able to have a very clear and crisp message for our employees.
How often should companies re-examine their compensation strategies?
Well, I think it should be based off the imperatives or the requirements of the business. We have a couple of different things going on at Google. We have great business opportunities in the mobile space, in video, with the Chrome operating system. So we have a lot of opportunities, and so our business is changing much more rapidly than a typical company. So we're going to look at it every year to see if the compensation philosophy is aligned with the general feeling of the business about our business direction. And also our employee demographics are changing too. We're growing very, very rapidly in terms of headcount, and so the composition of our workforce several years ago is different than it is today. And all of that is input to how we would look at compensation philosophy and how we'd position it. If you're in a much more stable organization, or one that's not changing, or have very stable demographics, a stable business, perhaps you don't have to do it that often. You can do it every 2 or 3 years.
And how is the workforce changing? Is it getting younger?
The workforce is changing, and we're gradually getting more older, more married, and a higher prevalence of Googlers starting families and so forth. So that's impacted the employee demographics, and of course that impacts employee preferences as well.
Now, there's been so much focus on the pay increase, basically the cash part of the compensation package, but I'm sure there are other things going on with benefits and work life. Do you want to say something about that?
Well, we are looking at our benefit cost and the benefits that we offer and the perquisites we offer, because again, that has to be tailored to the changing demographics of the organization as well. And our employee preferences and along those lines are also changing too.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a huge drive right now at Google to look at work-life fit. And so just making sure that employees are really trying to strike that fine balance between work and their family and just being healthy overall. And so that's really, you see that through all of our benefits programs as well.
That's great to hear. So just to wrap up, because this all started because of what you shared with us about the conjoint study, how often should employers do such a study?
It's aligned with the look at the compensation philosophy, but a little less frequently because employee demographics don't change so dramatically over time. We did one in 2008 and then repeated it in 2010, and it gave us very similar results. Not exactly the same, but the patterns were very, very similar. It validates the findings. So we probably won't have to do it in next year. Maybe we'll wait some additional time before we do that. And we may want to make it a little more granular. We were looking to make a big change in one of the core levers of our compensation philosophy, whether it was salary, bonus, or equity. Maybe next time we'll get into benefits and perquisites or do something related to some intrinsics and try to get value in that area and look at how we can change things going forward.
Well, I think what you've done here is truly unique, and I'm just so glad you're able to share it with our members. Thank you for joining us. For WorldatWork, I'm Marcia Rhodes.